So, you guys know that I grew up a Dolphins fan and that I was kind of excited that they might be decent this year. And then headed into this Bills matchup on Thursday, I was pretty excited. And then Tua got another concussion. So, there's been a lot of talk the last few days about whether or not he should retire. Do you guys think that that's a possibility? Do you think he should retire? What are the Dolphins doing in terms of backups? I saw something about Tyler Huntley. So let's start with you, Frankie. How you feeling about Tua's prospects here in the National Football League?
I mean, I don't feel good. I'm not a doctor by any means, but I know that when you have at least three concussions, and we'll talk about a fourth, when you have at least three concussions in 2 years, that is not good for your long-term health. I do feel kind of bad for Tua, and not just the sense with the concussions, but imagine you have this another terrible head injury on national TV, and the next day, all everyone in the media is talking about is that you should retire, is that you got to step away. And while I understand it may come from a good place, I also just feel like we're just adding more pressure on this guy. So it's just really unfortunate for me. I think he's got to do what's best for him. He's got to listen to his doctors. He's got to listen to his family, and they got to tell him what's best for him. I hope he retires. Just personally, I think that'd be what I want for him. But I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's a football player, and his mentality is I'm going to try, and until they drag me out of here, until I'm forced to, I can't. I'm not going to stop. So I think he'll play.
Yeah.
I hope he decides to leave, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, Justin, what are your thoughts? Think Tua's done?
I know he's not done because he's already saying he doesn't want to be done, but it's, concussions are one thing, but the type of concussions he gets, the hits that he's taken that cause the concussions, they aren't like, like remember when Antonio Brown got just destroyed by Vontae's Perfect and like completely altered the course of his career. To me, that's like, okay, that's a hit you get, that's a concussion. But Tua's like hits aren't that huge, so he's got a problem. He's got a chronic problem with getting concussions, and that doesn't mix well with football. And if I were him, I'd just take the money and say, all right, I'm done. Right? Like Andrew Luck did it after a series of injuries.
Yeah.
Tua's had a pretty decent start to a career. He was just getting started, but it's just you got to think about your health. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's going to be stubborn, just like most athletes are. They don't want to hang it up before they think they're ready. So I mean, just
is he too small?
I don't think it's a small thing. I think it's just he's got some sort of problem where he's prone to concussions, right? Like I don't know if his brain is like too big or what. I don't know,
too
but
small.
like,
I think a concussion is when your brain rattles around inside your head. So maybe he's got that Homer Simpson syndrome where he's got that thick layer of goo. So Bills 31-10 victory. They are now 2-0. They obviously destroyed the Dolphins. They destroyed Tua's brain. James Cook with 3 touchdowns. Frankie, why don't we start off with your thoughts on the Bills this week?
Yeah, I was mentioning this to you guys yesterday. I don't know how many great teams there are in the NFL after the first 2 weeks because I thought the Niners were really good, and then they lost to the Vikings, and I thought Dallas was really good, and I thought Philly was really good. But there's 2 teams that I know for sure are great. The Chiefs you mentioned earlier, and the Bills. Those are the first 2 teams throughout the first 2 weeks. I'm like, yeah, those teams are going to be good, and if not, like they'll be fine. They'll figure out whatever problems they have. The Bills just completely ran over Miami. They made Tua look bad even before the concussion. They had, I believe, 3 turnovers in that game, and all of them, they had 3 turnovers, and they stopped the Dolphins on 4th down, and all of those led to points. I think that accounted for like 28 of their 31 points. So they really took advantage of Miami's mistakes. As we mentioned, James Cook had a fantastic day, 3 touchdowns there. The Bills just looked like the best team in the AFC East, and I would like to see the Jets do that, but it's going to be hard to top the Bills and all the talent that they have right now on their roster. And just another solid outing out of Josh Allen. Dominant performance from their defense that was just making Tua look so bad for most of that game. Tua was making so many mistakes with the 2 interceptions that he threw were he threw 3. The first one wasn't his fault. That was one of the receiver's end. And then the 2 interceptions were just bad throws on his end. But the Bills were able to get there. They had 1 pick six. They were just dominant in this game. And it was just a real show that if you want to take over the AFC East, if you want to reclaim that crown, it's going to be difficult going up against this Bills team with the talent that they have, and they're hungry and they're motivated and they want to finally get over the hump of winning a Super Bowl. It's going to take a lot of work to take the Bills off the top of the AFC East. We'll see if the Jets can do it, but it doesn't seem likely the way the Bills are playing.
Justin, I want to kind of veer a little bit off topic. Are the Dolphins now? Do you think they're done? I mean, did that hose their season now with Tua out?
I mean, I don't see Tua coming back anytime soon if he does come back this year. Skylar Thompson did not impress me when he came in. So they did sign Tyler Huntley, who it's funny. You read the headlines of that and it's like, Dolphins signed Pro Bowl quarterback. And it's like Pro Bowl doesn't really mean anything anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like Tyler Huntley was, in the Baltimore taking over for Lamar Jackson, did pretty well. He's an okay quarterback. He's a good stopgap. He might do enough for the team, but I don't think they're built for a quarterback that can't make accurate throws. Because again, they're a speed team. They got the speedy backs. They got the speedy receivers. They don't really have a grinded out type of team. Like Jeff Wilson's the closest they have to that. So having somebody who can sling it and be accurate with it is important. And Tua was doing that. And like Frankie said, that first interception was not his fault. He had a new receiver in the game. The guy dropped it, bounced off the shoulder pads right into a Bills player's hand. And the second one, I'd argue, really wasn't his fault either. It looks like his receiver didn't run the right route and they weren't on the same page. So, having an accurate quarterback to make good decisions is going to be crucial. And I don't know if Skylar Thompson or Tyler Huntley are those quarterbacks, but we'll see what happens. And as we've mentioned before, Tannehill's available.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say that Tannehill should come back to the Dolphins. I've seen a few Dolphins fans that are like, no, we're good, bro. But I like Tannehill. I thought, he just didn't develop.
He's not terrible.
He didn't develop super fast. Like, they drafted him in the first round, and there was all this best QB since Marino, and he was. I feel like the pressure was too much for him. Like he was anointed as the next guy, and he just didn't develop super fast.